Hey everybody, welcome back to Guns and Gadgets, your premier source for Second Amendment news. If you love the Second Amendment as much as I do, smash that subscribe button down below. It's a big red button, doesn't cost you a red cent. What it does is it gets you part of this growing freedom family. Like the video if you get anything out of it. Like the video if you hate the ATF. And leave your best comment down below if you had to give a message to the ATF. This is a big update on the video I did. What is today's date? Today's the 15th. On the video I did on the 10th, so 5 days ago. Here's a quick summary. I'll pin that video above. You should watch it to get the full detail of it. But in summary, a GOA member had emailed the ATF FIPB division to ask them, hey, look, I have this gun, this pistol. I want to put a stabilizing brace on it. If I do I have to register it as a short-barreled rifle? Again, I strongly recommend against ever asking the empire if you can do anything. We don't ask for our rights here. We defend and enforce our rights. We don't beg for our rights. But I can understand the confusion the person might have had. But in the future, call GOA or watch some videos that folks like I do and others, because we put that information out there. That rule had been stayed, and in fact, it was vacated. So GOA took up for their member, and why? Because ATF told that member in a response that, yeah, we don't care what you put on your rifle. They called the pistol a rifle. If it's under 16 inches, we don't care what you put on it. It's an SBR. You are supposed to register that. Basically, they were saying, we don't care what the judges have said. We don't care that the rule is unenforceable and it's been vacated. But we're going to go a step further than the rule that we actually made. First off, ATF, you can't make law. Tough you know what. But yeah, Chevron deference was destroyed by the Supreme Court. ATF has stepped outside their lawful authority by trying to make law, making a rule that has the teeth of law. So the judges have destroyed this rule, okay? But ATF in that email said, you know what, we don't care. Yeah, we're gonna go a step further than that rule, and we don't care what you put on, what you think is a pistol, we think it's a rifle, it's a short-barreled rifle. So GOA, Eric Pratt, sent an email to that division and said, you know, you better respond to this because we already have a lawsuit going on, and you need to rectify this. Maybe you made an error. We gave them a couple days to respond. They didn't. They ghosted GOA. Then Eric Pratt said, okay, well, I have to show due diligence here. I have to show that, you know, maybe it was just one rogue person sending that email to prove in court, hey, look, Judge, we tried, now we need you. So he sent a letter to their bosses. You know, Dettelbach, he's not going to send them an email because he's on his way out. He already had his retirement party. He already resigned. He got his free 80% lower illegally in Washington, D.C. as a parting gift. So he emailed the bosses, the chief of that division and 2 other assistant directors, and said, you need to respond by this date. And I told you in another video that, you know, ATF did respond that evening saying we're going to respond fully this week, here at the beginning of this week. And they did that yesterday afternoon. And begrudgingly, ATF had to tuck their tail between their legs and say, we messed up. Here's the letter. This video is brought to you by Brownells. Guys, Brownells is a phenomenal company out there in Grinnell, Iowa. It's a little cold out there right now, but the people inside the building are working up a sweat trying to get you what you need for your tools in the Second Amendment. If you want or need anything, check them out, and you can use code GNG10 to save on most items over at Brownells. From looking glass to shirts to cleaning supplies, they have what you need. Check out Brownells. You know where to find them, guys and gals. GNG10 saves you greatly. And if you're at SHOT Show this year in a couple days, swing by the Brownells booth. You'll see my dream build, my long-range rifle, and I'll be there as well talking about that build with Caleb, as well as doing a meet and greet. And stay tuned for a huge announcement that you're not going to want to miss related to that rifle. Stop by, check it out, let me know what you think of it, and thank you to Brownells for sponsoring the video. You can see it is from Matthew J. Scheer, who is the chief of the FIPB, the Firearms Industry Programs Branch. And it was sent yesterday at 5:35 p.m. in the evening to Eric Pratt, who is the big boss man over at Gun Owners of America. I'm so glad to call him a friend. And he also CC'd Megan Bennett at the ATF, as well as Andrew Lang and James Van and William Ryan. It says, Mr. Pratt, this is in response to your email to myself and Bill Ryan dated January 6th of 2025 and your letter to the Assistant Director, Megan Bennett, dated January 9th of 2025. Here's the good part. ATF agrees that the statement, federal law requires a pistol with an attached stabilizing brace or stock be registered as a short-barreled rifle, is overbroad. That's them saying, yeah, whoever wrote that email, they done messed up, AA Ron. On November 8th, 2023, the United States District Court for the Northern District of Texas stayed the final rule, factoring criteria for firearms with attached stabilizing braces in its entirety, preventing further action in reliance on the final rule nationwide. The United States has appealed this decision. While the appeal is pending, ATF is complying with the court's order. The district court's order does not prohibit enforcement of the National Firearms Act or the Gun Control Act. ATF remains responsible for enforcement of statutory provisions pertaining to a rifle having a barrel or barrels less than 16 inches in length under the NFA and short-barreled rifles under the GCA. The statutory definition of rifle under the NFA and GCA includes, in relevant part, firearms with a rifled bore that are designed or redesigned, made or remade, and intended to be fired from the shoulder. A firearm designed and intended to be fired from the shoulder that meets the statutory definition of a short-barreled rifle contained in the NFA must be made and transferred in accordance with the statutory requirements of the NFA. The Firearms Industry Programs Branch diligently strives to analyze and provide the most current and accurate information and/or guidance to any inquiry made with our branch. We trust the foregoing has been responsive to your inquiry. Should you have additional questions, please contact us at fipb@atf.gov. Sincere regards, Matthew Scheer, Chief, Firearms Industry Programs Branch of the ATF. So you can see the way they worded it, this is kind of a backhanded apology. They did tuck their tail between their legs. They did say, yeah, you know what, we're following what the court said. We did appeal it, but we're following it. However, if it meets the statutory definition under the GCA and NFA of a short-barreled rifle, then we're still charged with enforcing that. However, pistol versus rifle, there are distinct differences. And ATF still doesn't like that. But it doesn't matter what they like. Our rights are our rights, ATF. You don't get to dictate what they are. The federal government doesn't get to dictate what they are. They're called inalienable for a reason. And the Second Amendment, as we all know, is the only one that says shall not be infringed. Hopefully, this next administration will change a few things that they did previously and start to whittle away at these infringements. It remains to be seen, but what I do know is that now is not the time for us to let up. We need to keep pressuring this new administration, this new session of Congress, these new senators and congressmen who said, vote for me because I support the Second Amendment. Now's the time to put pressure on them. We have a plethora of Pro-2A bills that have already been submitted, from recognizing permits across state lines. I hate permits, they're unconstitutional, but for people in states that have issues, this is a way to carry nationwide. It's a short, fix for the short term. There is other bills that said, you know what, if you have a permit, great, but if you have constitutional carry, you can still constitutional carry nationwide. Great, phenomenal. However, both bills still recognize restrictions on our rights. I'm not big fans. I've done videos on those. Go watch those if you want more information. But guys, great on GOA. Guys, support those who support you. In the links of every video I do, in the description area is a link to join GOA. It's a link to join SAF, Second Amendment Foundation. It's a link to join Firearms Policy Coalition. If you're already a member, you can use those links to chip in so that they can use our funds, because as a member, we are the lifeblood, we are the funding system, that's how it works, to sue these communist people that are running ATF and others. So thank you for putting pressure on them when I gave you the numbers to call and stuff like that. That will continue. It's definitely not time to put your guard down. ATF just had to tuck their tail between their legs begrudgingly. It's going to be an interesting couple days here before January 20th to see what this administration is going to try to get through, going to try to do. Maybe they try to make an example of somebody real quick. But I will keep you in the loop. You want to stay in the know, subscribe to the channel down below, and thanks for watching.